Today I want to share with you two simple holiday side recipes using sherry cooking wine and white cooking wine. Enhancing the ordinary into the extraordinary is just that simple. The first one we're going to make is roasted broccoli with Pecorino Romano, red peppers, fresh basil and sherry cooking wine. We're also going to be making a roasted butternut squash with white cooking wine, pomegranate seeds and some goat's cheese. The first thing we're going to do is make a dressing for the broccoli, and for this I'm using some Holland House sherry cooking wine. As you look at it, you'll see that light golden colour, but as you smell it, it's got that sweet aroma which is going to work really well with broccoli. The slightly sweet cooking wine helps balance the bitterness of the broccoli. So we're going to add some to the bowl. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is adding some olive oil. So I'm adding some olive oil to the bowl and I'm just going to whisk these together. And now we've got a dressing, the dressing of the sherry cooking wine and the olive oil. I've taken the broccoli and I've cut it into florets. You can actually purchase them pre-cut as well in the store. This works really well for roasting broccoli because what we want to do is get that nice colour on the broccoli and we still want it to be firm. We don't want to let the broccoli just steam and not have it firm. So I'm just adding the broccoli to the bowl. And don't worry about these little pieces, they're going to get nice and nutty on the tray. And then what we want to do is actually just fold the broccoli in the dressing. This is going to help it evenly cook, and each one of those pieces of broccoli are going to absorb that beautiful, sweet sherry wine and the olive oil. And then what we're going to do is add this back to the oven tray. So what I'm going to do is actually take the tray and I'm just going to put it onto the tray, just that. It's that easy, and then just spread it out on the tray just to make sure it evenly cooks. And the oven is preheated to 425 Fahrenheit, and 425 Fahrenheit is the perfect temperature for broccoli because you don't want it too low. If you have it too low, it's going to steam and the broccoli will get soggy before it's nutty. So we want the high temperature so it caramelizes the actual broccoli. Off to the oven it goes. After about 20 minutes, you'll see that the broccoli is starting to get this nice colour on the edges of it. I like to add a bit more of that Holland House sherry cooking wine. I'm just going to drizzle it over, and this is going to give the broccoli a lovely sweetness. And it's perfectly seasoned. You'll notice that you won't have to use too much salt with this. We're going to place it back in the oven and let this go for about another 5 to 10 minutes until the edges of that broccoli become nice and crisp. We can see it's still firm. Whilst the broccoli's finishing off, let's chop the basil. I've got some fresh basil. I'm just going to pick some leaves. And what we're going to do is just take the leaves and stack them up on top of each other. And then we're going to roll them as if we were rolling them into a sort of a cigar shape. You can see the way they're rolled nicely, just like this. And then we're just going to take our knife and we're going to slice these into these ribbons. And these are perfect for garnishing this broccoli. We've already grated the Pecorino Romano cheese, so now we're all set. We're just waiting for the broccoli to come out the oven and we're happy days. The broccoli is ready. It's drank up all that wonderful sherry cooking wine, and you can see it's got this colour to it. As I smell, it's got a sweet aroma, but it's also got a nuttiness to it. But there you have it, a fabulous side made in moments. Now we're going to make the butternut squash with white cooking wine, pomegranate seeds and goat's cheese. The first thing we're going to do is take some Holland House white cooking wine. This is going to add that nice crisp wine aroma that we love with food, and this works well with the lighter foods, perfect for butternut squash. We're going to add some to the bowl, and then we're going to add some olive oil, and I'm just using a light olive oil. I'm going to whisk these together, and now we're going to add some chopped garlic, just adding that to the bowl. I've taken the butternut squash and I've chopped it into 1-inch cubes. As you can see, we've got these 1-inch cubes, and these are perfect because they're bite-sized. And I'm just going to add that to this marinade. And what we're going to do now is just toss this around. I've already preheated my oven to 425 Fahrenheit. So that's nice and hot, and that's going to give us a lovely colour. And as you look in the bowl, you can see that the squash has been coated nicely. When this goes in the oven, it's going to roast, and it's going to get a lovely colour to it. A sign that it's coated is you'll see a sheen on the actual squash. So I have a rimmed baking sheet, which is perfect for cooking this. I'm going to add the butternut squash to a rimmed baking sheet, just making sure it's in an even layer. We're going to place this in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes until it's slightly tender, and then we're going to bring it back out and add a little bit more of that Holland House white cooking wine. After about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, you're going to see the squash has got this lovely colour to it. I'm going to redress the butternut squash with a small amount of the Holland House white cooking wine. This is going to give that butternut squash a delicious white wine, crisp taste to it. Just a small amount adds a great flavour to this, because it's all about taking an everyday dish and giving it a big bright flavour. I'm going to put it back in the oven just to let the squash absorb that wine. When it comes to finishing this, I like to add some goat's cheese, and then we're also going to add some pomegranate seeds, which is going to add a lovely tartness and brightness to this dish. And we're going to add some fresh parsley. With Holland House cooking wine as your secret ingredient, enhancing the ordinary into the extraordinary is just that simple.